So how do you increase prices of your marketing services without losing customers? Hey funnel builders, in this video I want to talk to you about increasing your prices, charging more, sometimes charging as much as 10 times more what you were charging without losing customers. So a pretty classic problem is when you realize that you need to start charging more for your services. Maybe you do websites, maybe you do social media marketing, graphic design, whatever it is that you do, and you realize that actually the amount that you're charging isn't enough. A big sign of this is usually when you're working all the hours that you can, and yet you don't really seem to have anything left over at the end of it. Another indicator that you're not charging enough is when you are unable to hire people to do your work for you. For example, if you had a budget of $25,000 for a pretty simple WordPress website, there's a good chance that you'd be able to take $8,500 and hire somebody else to do a majority part of the work. So often when we think about increasing our prices, the biggest fear that we come across is that if we jump up too much, all of our customers are going to leave us. One of the biggest misconceptions that marketing businesses and funnel builders have is that if they increase their prices, all of their customers are going to disappear. And if we think about that line of logic, it's kind of crazy to fear losing customers that aren't making us any money. If you are challenging how much money you need to earn and you think that you need to increase your prices, it means that your current customer set aren't supporting you financially. Therefore, if you got rid of them, you're not going to make less money because you'll only be getting rid of people who are already not making you enough money in the first place. The real reason we hesitate to fire customers or increase our prices is because we want to avoid conflict. Most of us are hardwired to please people, especially if you've set up a business. You want to do a good job and you want to please as many people as possible. And increasing your prices might create conflict within your group of customers, and worse than losing them or losing them the revenue is creating a sense of conflict, and that's something you're gonna have to get over. In actual fact, customers can be really happy that you've increased your prices and you're better suited to start serving more people. Remember, if you don't have any margin, you don't have any mission. No margin, no mission. So how do we go about increasing our prices without losing customers? Let's talk about that now. I've actually got some free training down below on how to price a marketing funnel. You can access that using the link below. It'll teach you absolutely everything that I know about how to charge for your marketing funnel services or your marketing services. You can check that out below. It's a completely free training. You just enter your email address and I'll send it right over to you. But in the meantime, the biggest and most important thing that you need to remember with increasing your prices is, first of all, you're probably already building $25,000 funnels or $250,000 funnels. You're just not charging enough for it. And the second reason is because people feel that they don't deserve or they can't justify that kind of price. One of the final points is when customers start talking to you and they say, oh, that's very expensive, or I can get my nephew to do it for cheaper. Other people's pricing models have got nothing to do with you. So if you're going to increase your prices, you should be ignoring all the other prices on the lower end of the spectrum, because they will constantly race to the bottom to try and beat you on price. Your job is to beat everybody else on value. So with that, I want to tell you exactly how I raised my prices when I first started out, how I managed to keep loads of customers, and how I managed to get rid of that niggling feeling that I'm going to start losing customers. So the first thing I did is I looked at what it is that I was delivering and I eliminated all of the things that I couldn't raise the price on. This was back when I was running just a basic WordPress business, and I essentially built WordPress websites and I had a maintenance plan. I built pretty regular WordPress sites for people, and I knew that I needed to increase my prices. I was charging maybe £1,000 where I should have been charging closer to £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 for the work that I was doing. I also had maintenance plans, which were extremely important to me because they generated recurring income into my business. When I first started, I didn't charge anything for maintenance. I used to update people's websites and help them out and support them even after the site had been built. And of course, looking back, I realized just how dumb that was. And in fact, it wasn't a good way of running a business. Partly because it was quite literally killing my business. I wasn't making any money, and yet my customers who weren't paying me, if you could even call them customers, were taking up all of my time, which restricted my ability to grow. So I eliminated all of my other projects, things like graphic design and SEO work, social media pages. I got rid of all of that and I started just focusing on building websites and then moving everyone who had a WordPress website from me onto a maintenance plan. I knew that I had to start building $25,000 and $10,000, which equated to about £6,500 to £7,000 in the UK, websites, and then moving people onto a maintenance plan, which I wanted to charge around £50 to £150 a month for. The particularly difficult thing at the time is that my mindset was quite small and I kept focusing on a local business who frankly were con artists and have since gone out of business, and they charged really low prices for their maintenance plans, and they seemed to pride themselves on undercutting everyone when it came to building websites. So a lot of my customers always were thinking, yes, but that company always charges like a lower amount. So I had to flip what it was that I was delivering to my customers, and I had to really focus on the value that they could get from working with me. The easiest way for me to do that was I was rewriting the benefits of why someone should buy a website from me. At first I was talking about, yeah, making money online and driving more traffic, and they'd have a beautifully designed website that shows off their brand. But the more I rewrote those benefits and the more I focused on why I wanted to build websites, it became clear that people could buy websites from me because they could generate income on automation. They could grow their subscriber list. They would have an easier time with their sales team. They would have, higher converting sales pages. And I really worked hard at understanding the benefits from my websites. And the more I understood those benefits, the more I was able to increase my prices. The actual practical part to this was when I wrote up 2 emails to all of my customers explaining that I was going to be increasing my prices. The first thing that I did was I wrote an email saying, we will no longer be supporting websites for free. Our minimum website plan will be the equivalent of £49 a month. That will get you all unlimited updates, will help out with your maintenance, will keep things secure, will back up your website, and it will include your hosting in that. With that, we used GoWP as a kind of intermediary, and they would take care of the work and we would just take a cut of whatever it was that we were charging our customers. But I wrote out all of the benefits and the value that someone could experience if they were on one of those maintenance plans. I sent that out to my customers, and of the 20 or 30 people that were customers, most of them came back and said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. About 50% of them said, fantastic, sign me up. And I only had 2 people say, I don't think we can work together. Here's what's really interesting. No one was angry, there was no conflict, and no one was disappointed in me. In fact, what's interesting is that I found that most people were kind of thinking, oh, Mike's obviously getting big and he's becoming successful because he's having to increase his prices. Because I said, look, you are a current customer and I want to support you as best I can, I will allow you to jump onto this platform and stay at this price even if I increase my prices in the future. I knew at some point I was going to go up to £79 per month for the same package, but I felt I owed my current customers the opportunity to come on board at the lowest possible price. Again, in hindsight, I don't know if I would do that, but that certainly eased the transition of people who felt they had been loyal to me and then were going to move over to me. Here's what's interesting. Lots of people ended up signing up for the payment increase even though they were previously getting that for free. And I believe part of that lies in the psychology that they felt that I was expanding, I was growing my team, we were becoming more busy, and unless they didn't want to work with me anymore, they would have to start paying me for my time, which of course in hindsight sounds extremely logical. The second email I sent is saying how our websites will be a standardized price of now £6,500 minimum. That includes a consultation and design period, and you'd get a full website at the end of it. Again, I wrote out all of the benefits and the value that someone would experience having bought a website from me. About 75% of my customers had bought a website from me in the past, and others were social media pages, SEO pages, those kinds of things. But when I explained how we were going to increase our prices, we actually had people upgrade their website and say, well, can we start a new project? A lot of these guys I've been working with for over 3 or 4 years already, so it seemed sensible to them to start a new website project from scratch if I had this new team. You have an opportunity to treat your price increase as a brand change. It's a branding opportunity for you to tell a story about the success of your business and how you're growing. And if they want to continue with you on this journey, then they just need to put in their fair share. What I think was most fascinating is that we had a lot of customers who had previously bought websites from us say, hey, that sounds fantastic. We want to do our site again, Or customers who had used social media or SEO services from us said, that sounds great, when can we start? We'd love to jump on board. Full disclosure, I did have someone who was pretty unhappy with my price increase, and they said, well, what if I want to buy another website from you? Can't I just buy it from the previous price? That's what you were doing it at. And I had to stay strong to myself and say, I can't do them at those prices because it's unprofitable. I was actually putting myself out of business by taking customers on. So instead, I said to them, I'm really sorry, we just can't sustain a price like that. I apologize for not being able to take it further, but I can give you the names of 2 or 3 people who probably can do it at those prices. Interestingly, I gave them the name of my competition who I knew was always undercutting everyone, and incidentally, since that business has gone under, that customer has since come back to me and started talking to me about another funnel project rather than a website project. So when it comes to increasing your prices, don't see it as something that's going to scare away customers. See it as an opportunity to start working closer with customers who respect you. It's also a really good exercise to do anyway, because you should be increasing your prices over time as things like inflation take over, but also it gives you an opportunity to re-examine why people buy from you. What do you guys think? Are you increasing your prices? Are you thinking of increasing your prices? I'm really excited about this opportunity for you to start generating more income from your current customer base. If you've recently started increasing your prices, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear how high your prices have jumped. I personally had an objective of adding a 0 onto the end of all of my projects, and we managed to do that. What was most interesting is that customers responded so positively that they ended up wanting to work with me because I was launching this to them and because I was treating it as a bit of a branding and storytelling opportunity. I've probably got a couple of videos either side here. If you're new, consider subscribing. I help funnel builders like you increase your prices, attract more customers, generate more revenue, earn whatever it is that you want to earn. My name's Mike Killen. I run Sell Your Service. Consider subscribing or give me a like or a share if this video was useful to you. Let me know in the comments if this was an interesting point of view, and let me know if you're planning on increasing your prices. Like I said, I've probably got a couple of videos either side here talking about pricing and how to increase your prices. Remember that we've also got our free training below on how to price a marketing funnel for your business. It's completely free training that's going to teach you how to price profitably, accurately, and quickly your marketing funnel projects. In the meantime, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Keep building those funnels.